What is up, my YouTube nerds? It's your coding bro Mondo Man Codes here, bringing you another video in our Intro to C++ series. In this video, I'll be going over the QuickSort sorting algorithm. Let's begin by opening up Visual Studio. Create a new project. Console app here. If it's not found in your templates, it's right on the right side here. Let's name this QuickSort. Create. And now we just wait for all the files to be generated. QuickSort also has another name. It uses the idea of divide and conquer. So it's pretty much the divide and conquer algorithm, where it just divides your array in half, keeps on doing it, but sorts it along the way. So at the very end, we have a sorted array. Begin by adding using namespace standard. Get rid of all this. And with that, we can get rid of that. Let's do QuickSort array for the future. So the three key components for QuickSort is our swap function, which you've seen for our bubble sort, our pivot. I tend to just call it mid, which is just getting the elements of our array at the very end and then just slowly checking to see if it's greater than all the preceding elements. And then at the very end, it generally is in the middle of your array. And then we have our QuickSort. So let's begin by doing our swap function, void swap, since it doesn't return anything. A int b. Now our temp up, and then a equals b. Now b equals temp. Alright, and we're 1/3 done implementing QuickSort here. Now we have the mid, which takes in three variables, which is our array, our low index, then our high index of that array. Let's also create our QuickSort quickly here. So it does the same thing. It takes in the array, takes in the low index of that array, and then it takes in the high index of that array. Alright. So QuickSort won't even touch on the swap. The function that would rely on swap is the mid function, which is we're just trying to get the pivot, swap those around. So let's begin by declaring an integer named pivot and just assigning that to the high index, or the last element in our array. And we have an integer I, and have that be the low index -1. Alright. Now we'll just have for loop to traverse through our entire array, where we already used I, so let's just use J. Starts at the low index, right? And then it goes all the way up to the high index, -1. Don't forget that -1, or you'll get an overflow error. And then we just, inside it, since we already have it going through our entire array, we just have if our array at j is less than our pivot. We do I++, so increment that I, and then we swap it. Oh. There we go. And that's it for our if statement, and that's it for our for loop. Very bottom here, we'll just swap I+1 with our high index. Oh, my bad. This wasn't supposed to be the high index, it's supposed to be j. Alright, so let's do a quick example here. Let's just bring it up here, just for more clarity. So, alright, so our mid function, so 7 would be our pivot. Let's actually add something greater than that. Alright, 7 would be our pivot, and then it goes through our entire array, checks to see is this less than the pivot. Okay, it is. Up to 9, where it gets out of the if statement because it's false, it doesn't even check it. So then at the very end, it swaps 9 with 7, creating 1, 5, 7, 2, 9. Oh, my bad. 1, 5, 7, 1, 5, 2, 7, 9. And then we just return I plus 1 to tell them like, okay, so that is now our mid, or our, pivot right there. That's where we have divided our array, indicating that everything to the right of that is less than that element, and everything to the left of that is greater than that element. I'll just keep that there. And then within our QuickSort, we'll just have low index, high index, just for a safeguard. And then we have to create an integer, and I'm just going to call it mid index, which is just the value we're getting from this, right? So you have to give it an array, oh, not integer r, just the array, the low index, and the high index. And once that's done, we have QuickSort, QuickSort. Alright, so this QuickSort, recursion for everything on the right, recursion for everything on the left. So we just call the exact same QuickSort function, but now we're actually dividing it, hence the key idea of divide and conquer. We're just dividing our array each time, getting the pivot, making everything to the right be less than that pivot, and everything to the left be greater than that pivot, until we get to the point where the low index is not less than the high index. QuickSort our array to low index, and then mid index. But since we already, sorted that mid index, we just do -1, so we don't count that within our sorting array. And we just do array mid index, and like above, we don't want to count that mid index since we already know everything to the left is greater than that pivot. Let's do +1, high index. Ah, my bad. There we go. And that's it for that QuickSort function. Let's just create our array real quick. 6, 7, 1, 3, 2, 9, 4. Yeah. As always, we have to do int size to get the size. So we do size of our array divided by the size of our array at 0. And then we just call in the QuickSort function. We give it its values that it needs. So the array 0, since that's the low index, and size -1. Alright, so cout QuickSort array. And now we just do a for loop. For int I equals 0, I is less than size, I plus plus, C out. Zero. I mean, that should be it. Making sure that there's no errors highlighted. We got the swap, we got the mid, we got the QuickSort where it breaks them down to right and left. Got our main function. Don't forget to save, and then we just run it. Okay. QuickSort must return a value. Ah, jeez. My apologies, guys. That's supposed to be a void, so we don't want it to return anything. Simple errors like that can make or break your code. As you can see, our previous array 671399294 is now 1 2 3 4 6 7 9, and we have sorted our array using QuickSort. That pretty much wraps up this video, just giving you guys another way of sorting your array or elements in that array so you can use in any of your projects or programs that you're working on or will work on in the future. As always, if you found this content enjoyable or informative, feel free to like or subscribe. Comment down below if you have any questions or want me to go over anything or any idea in more detail. And as always, stay nerdy.